Arbitration clauses and how they impact your rights. First, let's talk about what is an arbitration clause. These are clauses in contracts that between two parties that provide that any dispute that arises between the parties will be resolved not in the court system, but through a private process called arbitration. These have been around for decades. They're fine if the parties are of equal bargaining power. And they know that they're entering into an arbitration clause. Two companies that want to go into a new joint venture, they can agree to that. Two business people that want to start off on some new project, they can enter in a contract agreeing to arbitration because they know what that is. The problem is that arbitration clauses are creeping into more and more contracts where there's not equal bargaining power. Consumer contracts of all kinds. If you buy a product, if you buy a service, there's going to be an arbitration clause in that contract most likely. Apps that you download on your phone commonly have arbitration clauses as part of the terms of use. And employment agreements, opening day or beginning day papers at your new job. It's very common for there to be an arbitration clause in those employment agreements. And in fact, that is actually a case before the U.S. Supreme Court right now. It's a case that concerns whether arbitration clauses in employment papers circumvent the Fair Labor Standards Act, which governs things like overtime pay and the ability to create class actions under overtime pay in overtime pay cases. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. But the upshot of this all is that arbitration clauses are hollowing away your right to trial by jury, so that if you have a dispute with your employer or with the manufacturer of a product that harms you or one of your loved ones, you may not be able to have your day in court and exercise your Seventh Amendment right to trial by jury because an arbitration clause that's in those contracts that you weren't aware of may force you to be in a private system called arbitration.